What's up, CHFFL, and welcome to this most glorious of days. It is Draft Day 2022. I'll be getting this video up around 2 p.m., maybe a little before that, and we draft, of course, at 8 p.m. tonight. Wanted to give you some content to maybe enjoy at your pre-game festivities, whatever they may be. Gonna get to a few things in this video. We're gonna talk about that recent trade between Swan and Mini, review that, and give my thoughts. And a quick look at the final keeper board, which I'll be posting in the Discord, so everybody can have that as always to help keep themselves organized with keepers. And I'm going to give my first round predictions for every first round pick that I think is going to happen tonight. We'll see how wildly off I am. And finally, a surprise announcement about CHFFL content. I'm very excited to bring it to you, and you should stick around for the entire video to hear what that is. So first, trade review. Swan needed a 5th round pick. Goes out, he gets round 5, pick 50 overall. Round 8, pick 86 overall. Mini was his trade partner, knew that Swan needed that 5th round pick to keep Leonard Fournette. Mini in exchange gets round 6, pick 64, and round 7, pick 78. For Swan, this entirely makes sense. Keep Leonard Fournette, consensus top 20 pick, some people having him a little higher with value shift. Wonderful to keep him in the 5th round, and he only has to move back 8 total slots from the 7th round to the 8th round. Looking at that a little more in depth, between those two picks, round 7, 78 overall, round 8, 86 overall, there are 5 keeper selections, which means that he's essentially only moving back about 3 picks, because those, you know how keeper value shift works. It's going to be coming down around that 7th to 8th round, and Swan's really only moving back about 3. This trade is wonderful for him. For Mini, he's dropping down from the 5th round to the 6th round 14 picks, and then only gets that essentially 3-pick jump once you account for the keepers there. I think Swan's the clear winner here, and I've looked at this a few times to make sure that I had the right numbers and everything. He jumps a lot closer to Grant after this, in my mind. Grant's still a tier above, and I wouldn't change my tiers based off of this, but Swan definitely can be a threat to win that conference title. Mini, I think, should have squeezed Swan a little harder. As soon as he was approaching people about wanting a 5th round pick, you knew that he really wanted it, and he would have been willing to give up more to make it happen. So I think that's a little bit of a loss for Mini. I don't know if Mini looks better after this trade. But because this trade happened, Swan's able to keep Fournette, and we finalized our keepers 1 week ago. Quick look at the draft board. I'm not going to go through it here, but I have prepared these. And yeah, this is not very pretty in this format. I'll post them to the Discord so that you can have these tonight and know when the keepers are coming. Of course, they're built in this year, so they should happen automatically in the draft. There shouldn't be anybody accidentally taking keepers. Now, I'm excited to do this. I don't think I've ever done first round predictions before, but I've put a lot of thought into it this year, probably because my team isn't really bad as it has been every other keeper season that we have done. So I'm looking at this. I'm using the ESPN. These are ESPN's ADP numbers. Jonathan Taylor going first, McCaffrey second. I know I normally use Fantasy Pros rankings, but I think for this, it's better to look at what the order is going to look like when we open the draft tonight. So I've crossed out here the keepers, and you see that there's a red line. I think these first 6 available running backs are in a tier of their own. Taylor, McCaffrey, Eckler, Henry, Najee Harris, Dalvin Cook. I really want to keep my pick as vague and mysterious as possible because Grant has been absolutely dying for months to get me to say who I'm going to take. I mean, following up with me every week or two. So I'm obviously not going to say it, and I wouldn't put it past myself to predict something completely different than what I know is going to happen just to mess with him. But we see here, and the important thing I've been talking about a lot this preseason, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, all gone. Your top 3 receivers gone. The top on the board, Devontae Adams, is the only other top 12 receiver on ESPN's ADP. Coming to the next round, you're missing Deebo Samuel, DeAndre Swift, of course, going to be in the first round. But I do think out of these top 24, we see our first 12 picks. So let's get right into this because this is going to take a little while. For the big guy, Eng, I'm keeping Josh Allen, Nick Chubb, Elijah Moore, of course, and I think I would predict, if I didn't know, that I take one of those top 6 running backs. Obviously going to be vague, not to give my strategy away. One of that top tier running backs definitely going to me. I can tell you it's not going to be a surprise in that aspect. Grant, keeping 3 running backs, Cam Akers, James Conner, Travis Etienne. He has 2 first-round picks, and I still see him taking another running back here, starting with 4 high-end running backs. And vaguely, I'm going to call it one of the top 6. I was thinking of doing that for a few more, but I am going to start giving specific names going forward. Wes is keeping Patrick Mahomes, Darnell Mooney, TJ Hawkinson. Really no lean there on how that would affect his picks, but we can assume he's going to go after one of those big running backs. I like Wes specifically to take Dalvin Cook. Don't know if that'll happen. Any of those guys in that tier I could see going here. Some reason that seems right for me, which I think will make Stan happy, keeping Claypool, Mike Williams, Elijah Mitchell. Stan's going to want one of these running backs too, and I know he is a fan of Derrick Henry. I see Henry back on Stan's team this year. Leaves us to Bill, not keeping anybody his first year in the league, and I think he sees those 2 predictions and is pretty happy with that. He'll gladly take the consensus number 3, Austin Eckler, at 5th overall. Swan, keeping Fournette, Jefferson, Lamb, 2 receivers, 1 running back. Swan could go either way, but I think he's going top available with that spread. He's taking a running back in the last one in that top group, Najee Harris, and I think he's happy with that at pick number 6. Then we get back to Grant for his second first-round pick. He has 4 running backs. He has to take a pass catcher here, and I don't think he's going to shy away from the consensus. I think he takes Devontae Adams, first wide receiver, off the board. It leads us to Banis. Banis definitely wants a running back and would have loved to have been in that top 6, but he's also really happy that Max traded his first-round pick to Grant, because that means Grant, that number 7 spot is not going to be another running back. So Banis has his pick of the next tier of running backs. I like Banis and Jason, both very savvy. One guy has been rising through the rankings as it looks more and more likely he'll play the entire year. I like Banis to take Alvin Kamara here at 8th overall. Next, Pa, keeping 3 running backs, Dobbins, Dillon, Edmonds. Gonna go with a pass catcher. Parker's been one of my tougher guys to hone in on. What's he gonna do in this draft? I think if Grant was not picking 7 and Max was instead, he'd be taking Devontae Adams here. But I see Parker going against the trend, and this is my kind of wild prediction. I see Parker taking Travis Kelce in the first round, even though this means his wide receivers are going to end up fairly weak. I feel like that's just in Parker's personality to look for a positional advantage where he can get one and not follow the trend and not pick based on need, but pick who he thinks is top available. Mark, keeping DeAndre Swift, easy, that's his first round pick. Nothing to say. Marty, keepers, Dalton Schultz, Devin Singletary. Marty could go any way here, whatever he likes. However, I think he's going to take a running back that he's going to be very happy I've left on the board to this point. Joe Mixon should be a first round pick in my opinion, and I think Marty takes him. Puts Minnie in a bit of a teardrop here at number 12, I think. And of course, if I predict right for Minnie, if the person I predict for Minnie is either his pick 12 or pick 13, I consider it a win because he could go in either order at the turn. He made it a little tougher for himself by helping Swan keep Fournette. Fournette was a possibility for me when I was predicting Minnie's turn here. So no running backs really jumping out. I think Minnie takes a receiver, and I know he likes, and I think he still believes in, Tyreek Hill. So that would be my predictions for the first round. Going through that again, Grant and I take running backs, Wes, Dalvin Cook, Stan, Derrick Henry, Bill, Austin Eckler, Swan, Najee Harris. Going into the second half, Grant's second pick, I think, will be Devontae Adams. Banis, I like Alvin Kamara. Pa surprises everybody, except not now that I've predicted it, by taking Travis Kelce. Mark with the keeper, of course. Marty, Joe Mixon. Minnie, Tyreek Hill. Those are my predictions. We'll see. You guys could do anything, and I wouldn't be too surprised. But that's how I see it playing out. Final note, the surprise announcement. In the CHFFL auditory universe, we're going to have a new podcast. The debut will be Tuesday, September 6th. This is going to be a weekly podcast hosted by Grant and Bill. I know we've had an endeavor to add a second show before, but I think they're very dedicated. The focus is going to be more long-form listening rather than a YouTube video presentation. I intend to be a frequent guest, and we've already been talking about how we can work this in with my weekly Sunday show to provide more content that plays off of each other really well. I'm very excited for it, and you all should be looking forward to tune in every week, however you would like to enjoy a podcast. That's it. Good luck to everybody tonight. I can't wait to see you all on Discord. And remember, today more than ever, that the important thing is to have fun. See you soon.